Yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Arolo Ayobami. Good evening, Miss Convenant. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Mr. Odumurayo. Good evening, Mr. Victor. Good evening, Miss Faith. One, Miss Pitu. Pardon me for that. Good evening, Mr. Nathaniel, Miss Precious, and I'm sorry if the screen is not showing everybody, but good evening, everybody. If I did not mention your name, good evening. And it's so happy to be here with us tonight. And once again, thank you, Ms. Covenant, for this opportunity. I will be starting with the first section. I'll just be taking us through what family dysfunction is. I know every one of us would have heard family dysfunction before, and this is not our first time of hearing that phrase. So I'll be taking us through the meaning of family dysfunction, its effect on the society, and how we can all heal from it. But before I go into that, I want us to know some things. One thing I want us to know is you are not in this meeting because you want to go back home to throw blames at your parents. That maybe you are going through family dysfunction at this time, or you have healed from it, or you are healing from it, or you want to heal from it. You're not in this meeting because you want to say the actions of your parents and then you go back home to throw blames at them. If you came here with that mindset, I want you to change it now. You're not here because of that. You're not here because you want to go back home to condemn your parents or you want to see where your parents missed it. No, you are here for you and yourself alone. You are here because you want to be a better version of yourself. You want to be a better version of yourself. You want to be better than your parents. You want because you are bringing forth new generations from you, and you don't want them to face what you once faced. I hope everybody can hear me. And I also want us to know that you are not here because you want to start blaming yourself. You are not here, nobody's throwing blames at you. You don't need to blame yourself. We were not, nobody had the opportunity to choose the family they were giving birth into. Everybody just found ourselves in a family. So you are not here to blame yourself, to throw blames at your parents or anything. And I also want us to know, like I prayed when I started, that God is the greatest healer. Yes, we have the words, I've created slides, but everything still falls back to Him. He's the greatest healer. Yeah, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Once again, can you see my screen? I want us to confirm if you can see my
Yes.
screen.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So the topic before us, and please can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the topic before us says family dysfunction, understanding it, surviving it, and rising above it. And my name is Oyimade Yamilua Esther. I would want to be honest with us. Okay, let me just say I would be somehow real. Okay, I'll be real, not somehow. I'll be real here, and you might hear some words from me, but it's just that you need it. You will need those words from me to heal. You will need those words from me to understand this topic better. And if I'm to be honest with you, parents don't, no Christians now, they speak against divorce. But I want you to know that children raised in dysfunctional families are higher than the rate of divorce rates. Am I supporting divorce? I'm in between. I'm not in support. I'm not against. I'm just in between. But children raised in dysfunctional families are higher than divorce rates. I wrote here, I said 44 to 56% of families report dysfunction, family dysfunction. That is half of the population in Nigeria are facing family dysfunction. It might not be everything, but one of the characteristics, one of the type of family dysfunction, someone is facing it. Out of a class of 50, when you interview 40 students, out of those 40, I assure you more than 30 of them are facing family dysfunction. That is the state at which we are in Nigeria. And I also realize that domestic violence is also a type of family dysfunction. 30% of women experience physical abuse. 68% of them 68% face emotional, sexual, and economic abuse. And that is one of the things. And it's not only women that now face domestic violence, even the men now face domestic violence. And that is how it has really gone so rampant. Also, single parents in Nigeria, we said 34% of children live in single parent household. And I will always say that a mother can never perform the responsibility of a father. And the father can never perform the responsibility of the mother. Yes, the mother can be there 100%, but there will just be a stage in life that one will crave for the presence of a man in the person's life. And that has really affected our youth. The rate at which we have irresponsible youth in Nigeria increases day by day. And then I wrote here about polygamous marriages. 28% of households are polygamy in nature, and then everything falls back on the children. There's increased rate of behavioral issues, absenteeism, and street involvement. We have high rates of drug abuse in Nigeria. Even secondary school children now also engage in drug abuse and addiction, which is not speaking well of the population. So now we have different characteristics of family dysfunction. The first point I wrote here is poor communication. Poor communication. In a family where there is no communication, there cannot be relationship. There cannot be that relationship that a family is meant to provide, because you will not even know what the person you have with you wants or needs. Feelings and concerns are not openly expressed. Family members feel unheard, or they are even afraid to speak up. And then we have parents that they just shut down their children. They will not even want their children to speak at all. I tell people, I say, most introverted children now were not born introverts. I'm an introvert myself, but I tell you that most introverts, most children that will tell you I'm an introvert, most youth that will tell you they were not introverts. They were the children that had the bubbling spirit. They were just children that wanted to be everywhere. And then what made them to be introverts? Their parents. When they shut them down, they don't want them to express themselves at all. They don't even want them to speak. The child has not said one sentence, you shut him down. That will lead to poor communication. As time goes on, the child will never want to talk at all. The child will just say, even if I want to express myself, they will speak me down, they will shut me down. And then that leads to poor communication. And then you go to some homes, you have them. Where are the children? They are in their rooms doing what? As a family, we are meant to be together. Why are the children in the room? Because there is no communication. The father cannot talk to the child cannot talk to the father, the child cannot talk to the mother. The only time they speak is when they need, let's say, I want to get pencil, I want to get biro, I want to get books. That's the only thing. Apart from that, the children don't speak to their parents, which is not meant to be. And that characteristic of family dysfunction, I said, unclear or rigid roles. The point, there's a point, this is when children take up adult responsibility. And this is called parentification or over-emotional responsibility. When a child of 20, 21, 22 is being pressured to take care of the person's, to take care of him, his siblings or her siblings. It is not your responsibility to take care of your siblings. Yes, I say it again, it's not a responsibility. It is not a child's responsibility to take care of the child's siblings. Your parents gave birth to the child, they gave birth to their children, and they are meant to be the ones to take care of their children. And that is why we see a lot of internet fraud, because these children just want to live. They just want to live up to what their parents expect from them. And then you see a 20-year-old boy, 21-year-old boy living this extravagant life, and you ask yourself, how did we get here? Because the parents also have seen, they tell you, they want to say, I want how? It is not that is not meant to be, and that's one of the characteristics of family dysfunction. Another point I raised is the lack of emotional support. The first place you are meant to get emotional support as a person, as a child, is from your family. But nowadays, people get emotional support from outsiders. And then some children that don't know the right place to go to, they end up getting it from the wrong set of people. I know of youths that have gotten emotional support from the wrong place, and after everything, they miss it. They make mistakes, and it's because their family, their mom, their dad, their aunties, their uncles did not provide the emotional support needed. Emotional needs are ignored or are minimized. They look at it as something that is not needed. They look at it as something that is not so important, that is not necessary. Little affection, empathy, or reassurance. When a child is feeling pain, the child cannot even run to a parent or his parent to show. That is not meant to be. That's another characteristic of family dysfunction. I also wrote, I said, control and power imbalances. And I wrote in brackets, autocratic parents. The parents that all they just want to do is command. All they want to do is command. And I know maybe some of us here will be it. I just want you to come. I just want to just do it. I don't want to hear any other thing. But parenthood is meant to be flexible. I've not given birth to, but I just feel it is with what I've read about. Parenthood is meant to be flexible. You are meant to let your children know. Yes, I know there are some stages you have to command, and then there are just some stages you have to just sit your child down and explain to the child, this is why you should do this. You don't just tell the adult to sit, you have to explain to the adult why I need to sit here. I can't blame our parents to they were raised that way, and then they feel like that's the best way to raise us. I said one person to make decisions, independent and personal choices are restricted. They don't even want to hear what you want. We see students in universities doing courses they don't even want to do. Like, most of us can relate. If you're happy by have to discuss like this, is that what you wanted? Some of us will say no. I wanted to become an artist. Some people wanted to become a painter. And my parents said, no, do this. And it's not meant to be. That's another characteristic of family dysfunction. Now, also there's a chronic conflict or avoidance when there is constant arguments and tension in the family, when there is no peace. I tell people, I say peace of mind is underrated. When there is no peace in someone's life, it will show. And when there is constant argument at home, when there is tension at home, even the child will not want to go home. The child will love to stay outside, and then the child will start looking for love elsewhere. The child will start looking for love where the child is not meant to look for love. Then at the end of everything, end up doing things that the child is not meant to do. Then after that, I said problems are avoided instead of addressed. When there are issues, they're going to sit as family to discuss. Everything is just ignored. Everything is just under the carpet. And then these issues keep building up. And then everyone will start reacting based on the issues. And then before we know it, everyone has something in their mind, and everybody just walking as a field gas that just wants to explode. And then just any slight mistake, there's explosion. I'm done with the family dysfunction. Please, can we all still hear me?
Yes, ma, we are following.
Thank you. Now I'm moving to causes of family dysfunction. There are different causes of family dysfunction. Family dysfunction typically arises from a complex interaction of individual, social, and structural factors, which includes parental, mental health disorders. Like I said earlier, we are not here because we want to throw blames at our parents. And our parents raise us the same way they were raised. Like I do tell people, I said I will raise my children the same way my mother raised me. Yes, I do say it because my mother raised me in a way that I know I can raise my parents. There are some things I know I will still change. And I know that was the same thing that happened with our parents. So the same way our parents raised them, let me do the same for the child. And then like that, we feel like that was the best thing they could do for us. And these are our parents at times, they are depressed. Some of them are going through anxiety. Some of them have personality disorders. And then they don't even know. Yes, they don't even know. You an average Nigerian parent, you can't tell an average Nigerian parent that person is depressed. You explain the meaning of that depression because they will tell you that all they're taking away depressed. But they are, and they don't want to accept it. And that leads to family dysfunction because when you are depressed, you can't relate with your family members the way you ought to relate. Another one causes of family dysfunction I wrote here is substance abuse or addiction. Substance abuse or addiction. If a father that is a drunk, A mother that smokes definitely will not produce a good family, definitely will not produce a better family, definitely will not produce a family that provides emotional support. Because even them, they are not even present. Another thing I raised is domestic violence or chronic marital conflict. Domestic violence is on a high side in Nigeria. The child seeing his parents arguing every day, argument over and over again, fights. The child coming out to be a better person is going to be based on the work that the child will do. And then another causes of transmission that I wrote here is economic stress and poverty. And this leads to transfer of aggression. We notice that when our parents are out of cash or out of funds, and then you go and meet them at that time, and you want something, you will hear that story of your life. That leads to poor communication because as time goes on, the child will not ever want to come and meet the parents. The child will start thinking of what can I do to also make my money. When a child of 15 is thinking of what to do to make his money because his parents are going through poverty or economically they are not fine, financially rather, they are not fine, and they start thinking of what to do. Then use for the get rich fast syndrome, or the get rich fast way, and then before we know it, does things that is not meant to do. These are the causes of family dysfunction. Another thing that is said, unresolved trauma or adverse childhood experiences. If you don't heal properly, you will bleed on the people that did not hurt you. That is it. You feel like you are good. There are some couples that the wife is from a family that has gone to that is dysfunctional, and then the wife will not heal properly. Even when her and her husband are having a normal communication, a normal argument. You know, there are some arguments you have with your spouse that the voices are not loud, but you know we are arguing. And then what comes to our mind at that time is how our parents argue. And then before we know it, she will overreact. And then the man will be like, what happened? Why are you reacting this way? And then let's just imagine if this continues and then she gives birth to children. The children will suffer for it. And from there, a dysfunctional family starts. Now I'm moving to types of family dysfunction. We have different types of family dysfunction. There are even some families that feel like they are perfect, that they're actually dysfunctional. The first point I wrote here is emotional neglectful families. In this type of family, emotional support is missing. Feelings are often ignored. Feelings are ignored. Feelings are not even regarded. You don't even want to understand how you feel without any decision they make. All they want to do is make decision. And that point, another one I said abusive families. Harmful words or actions are common. Nobody cares how you feel in that family. All they just do is speak down on you. All they want to do is kill your morale. All they want to do is condemn. The fear, and in that family there is fear. Everyone is walking on eggshells. Everyone is just trying to be perfect because they just want to face another, and then everyone is just trying to walk on eggshells because yes, I'm scared. I don't want to be speak down on. I'm scared. I don't want to fall into that side of my parents. And then from there, another family social builds. Another thing I read is disengaged family, where there's emotional distance and isolation. Everyone fends for themselves. In that type of family, all man for himself. You are on your own. Tell me why a child that is not even a teenager yet is on his own, is on her own. What can that age do? But there are families like that when their parents are just too focused on making money. They just want to make money. They leave the child to fend for herself, for himself. It's not meant to be. Another type of families here is addiction-centered families. The type of families that, let's say, one of the children are addicted to hard drugs. The remaining children in that family suffers for it because there will be more attention on the child that is addicted to drugs. They will want to make that one better, neglecting the feelings of the others, and then from there, there are no relationships, there are distances in relational time, and everybody just on their own. Another thing I wrote is a meshed family. There are no clear personal boundaries. It's okay for you to have boundaries in your house. Yes, I don't want to do this and it's fine. But in this type of family, they don't even understand boundaries. It's what I want you to do the most to. And it's not meant to be. And I also wrote here effects of family dysfunction. I divided it into two. I'm going to be speaking about the children and also the adults. Children raised in dysfunctional families are at increased risk of low self-esteem and poor emotional control. Is either they are over or they are low. Is either the child is the over-aggressive one or is the one that has a low self-esteem. And that thing I wrote, I said anxiety, depression, or behavioral disorders. Most of the children also face academic difficulties. A child that saw his parents arguing in the morning, how do you want the child to focus in school? How do you want the child to concentrate? This affects the attention of the child in school. Then from there's academic difficulties. And another one I was said problem forming healthy relationships, because the first relationship the child saw at home was not healthy. The one he thought was normal when he got outside, saw the way people relate, realized that the one at home was abnormal. And then with that, it affects the child's way of forming healthy relationships. And then you see children, they'll say, I don't have friends, I don't want to have friends, I just want to be on my own. It is not okay. Even God created us for herself. When God saw that Adam was alone, he created Eve. God did not create us to be lonely. But when a child already has the mindset that healthy relationship, I just want to be on my own, I don't want to be friends with anybody, it's the wrong mindset. And it's not the child's fault, it's because of where the child is coming from. On adults, when the child doesn't have effects. Sorry, please excuse me. When the child did not heal, or when the child is not being worked on, let's say the parents did not do the work. When the child is not being helped at that age, promotes to adolescence, promotes to adults, and then the long-term effects may include difficulty in trusting people and intimacy. There are some people, they will tell you, I don't want to be in a relationship. Why? Because they were raised from difficult families, from toxic homes, and then they feel like everyone is like that, and they don't want to face an issue like that. They will say they don't even trust anybody, because the first of the people that they trusted betrayed the trust rather. And that thing, another point here, the long-term effect of family dysfunction on adults is fear of conflict or tendency towards toxic relationships. There are some that will say they don't want to get married. There are some that will be hungry for love. They just want to have somebody to talk to. And then you ask yourself, why is a lady in a relationship that the guy is beating her and she's still there? At times when I hear stories like that, I just sit down and I tell myself, when you sit that lady down to ask her what happened, she will always have a story to say. And that's why I am not somebody that will judge people. I don't judge people because I know that everyone has a story to tell. When you get from the lady will tell you that the home she's going to, there is no love. At least this one is beating and it's still pouring love into me. Let me just manage this. Those are the effects of family dysfunction. Another one I wrote here is chronic stress and mental health challenges. And I said peace of mind is underrated. When there is absence of peace in a man's life, there is like the man will just be stagnant. You will not move forward, you will not go back. You just be on the spot because there is no energy to push you forward. Peace is like an energy that you need to move forward. Another thing I said is repetition of dysfunctional patterns in their own families. Someone that did not heal. And the funny thing is that the person also hates the dysfunctional family the person came out from, but the person did not heal properly. And the person will end up producing a family dysfunction that is even worse than the one that she had. A preacher once said, when you don't work on yourself properly, when you don't heal well, you end up repeating the patterns you saw in your family that you hated, that you disliked, you end up repeating it. It is a fact. You end up repeating, and these outcomes are always based on the environment that these people find themselves. And going to the last point for tonight, for this slide, which is the main topic for today, is how do you heal your mind from family dysfunction? How do you heal your mind from family dysfunction? The first point I will say is awareness and acceptance. When you are aware that you have a problem, there is a solution already. Because that's the first step to healing. You need to accept it. That yes, the family I came out from is dysfunctional. But do I want the family that comes out of me to be dysfunctional? No. And then from there, healing starts. I wrote I said, understand how family patterns affect your thoughts, affect your emotions, and affect your behaviors. And also accept the past without letting it define your future. Like I said earlier before I started this talk in this section, I said it's okay. I said what I said was I said our parents, we did not choose our parents. God created us and said, okay, we in this family with me. God said, okay, Yanolua, we in this family. And then I found myself in this family. And I accepted my way that this is the family I will be. And that is it. Another thing I wrote, I said emotional release and self-expression. Allow yourself to feel and express suppressed emotions safely. You know, when I was writing this point, I said it is okay for you to enter your room and all you will do is just shout. All you will do is scream. It's okay. It's okay to feel that way. Don't neglect any emotion. Don't say, oh, I don't want to feel this because if I feel that way, I'll be weak. No, it's fine. It's fine for you to express your emotions. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to feel bad. But what is not okay is when you continue to cry and then you don't find solutions. That is where the problem is. Journaling, talking to a trusted friend, emphasis on the word trusted. Let me talk about journaling before I go to the trusted friend. I journal a lot. I write things down. It's okay to write, to get the journal. After tonight, please, if you don't have a journal, if you don't have where you write things, please go get one. It is not compulsory you go to market and buy 75 journal. All those fine journals they share in the wedding, the souvenirs, you can just get one. Make it your journal. Write your thoughts down. If it's all the plans you want to do for the day, if it's how you feel about each day, if it's how you feel about each month, write it down. I tell you that days you go back to that journal and you see how you have grown. Journaling is what I recommend to people. Another thing I wrote is talking to trusted friend. Emphasis on the word trusted because now a problem shared is no more half talk. It's now a public gist. Talk to trusted friends, your leader in church, anyone you feel is trusted. You can talk to the person. Therapy can also help you to release emotional burdens. Yes, therapy. I recommend therapy. Go to therapy. Speak to therapists. But I would always recommend Christian therapists too. I would recommend Christian therapists. I recommend them. With that, you are fine, you're good. And also a community like this, like the mind healing community, like this community that we have, is a step to healing. It's a step to healing our mind. And it is okay to also take a break from the environment you are, from that dysfunctional family. If you're an adult, go to school, go and visit families. Go to a family that you are seeing. You can't change your family, you can't change your parents. But one thing you can do is change your mind. You can change the way you think, you can change the way you see things. Am I rejoining? Sorry.
No, like the call will end by 8. So when it's 8, we can join using the second link.
Okay, thank you. So you can just take a break from the environment that you feel the problem is. Visit people, visit families that you feel okay. They may have their issues, but at least comparing to the family you have, they are still better. Look for normal, look for the perfect one that you know you can learn from. And with that, it helps your mind also to heal. You see that your mind gets better. Speak to people. Speak to matured minds. And also, I also said setting healthy boundaries. Protect your mental space by saying no to toxic influences. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to your parents. Yes. It's okay to say no to adults. If you feel what they're telling you to do, what they're doing to you is not right to do, it's okay to say no. When you say no, you're doing it for yourself and yourself alone. It's okay to be selfish with the way you say no. Yes, and also learn to prioritize your well-being over pleasing others. People that come out of dysfunctional families often please others. They often look for validations when they are not meant to look for validations. And if you are here tonight, please, I want you to prioritize saying no to people. I want you to prioritize yourself. I want you to pour the love you need in your own self. It is when you love yourself. It is when you love yourself that people will love you. It is when you prioritize yourself that people will also prioritize you. That is the fact. When you don't love yourself, somebody else can come and love you anyhow, and then you accept it because you don't have to love yourself. When you know the way you rate yourself so well, nobody will just come and just tap you up and down. Another thing I do is rebuilding self-worth and confidence. Recognize your value, independence of family approval. Practice self-love and affirmations daily. Practice them, like I said earlier, pour love into yourself. You can get a paper, paste it on your door before you leave your room every day. Read those affirmations. If you are someone that you are the child that your parents have said, oh, you cannot make it in life, you cannot do this, you cannot achieve anything, you know, what can come out? Just like how they said to Jesus, what can come out of Nazareth? And then the Savior came out of there. Write it on your wall. I can do it. I am this. I am that. Speak those words to yourself every day. It is what you feed your mind that your mind will give back to you. That is it. I'm somebody that I don't listen to anyhow. I don't listen to anyhow someone. Because I know it's what I feed my mind with. That I will start thinking of when I lay down on my bed in the night. I will think about everything I listen to that day. And then before you know, they start building. But when you feed your mind with the right things, I tell you are good to go. And then another thing I wrote is forgiveness and letting go. Forgive yourself, forgive your parents, forgive everyone you need to forgive. It is hard to forgive, but you have to forgive to heal. And I tell you that if you are going to do it, that these people that hurt you, the parents that raised dysfunctional family, the uncles that did this to you, they are waiting for them to come to you to apologize. You will wait forever. What I recommend for people is please, even without them coming to apologize to you, forgive them. Yes, forgive them even without them coming to ask for forgiveness. That is the real definition of forgiveness. Why are you doing this? For your peace of mind. Because even the person that you are angry with, okay, comparing age, somebody is over 50, let's say your parents are over 50, they've lived their life, you are still 20 something, and because somebody is doing that, you are limiting yourself from living. You have to forgive for the sake of for peace of mind. You have to forgive. You have to let go to free your mind from bitterness and resentment. A bitter heart cannot produce anything. You can't even pray. Yes, you can't pray when your mind is full of bitterness. Even the Bible says when you have it with your neighbor, you go back, drop everything you're doing at that time at the altar. Go back to apologize to the person. So you forgive and you let go. Another thing I wrote is mindful